Hello and good evening. My name is Marian Lane. I'm a Danish modern shaman of the Neo Era, and we are having the three webinars about the wisdom within, the 7D access to your eternity. And I'll just use a moment to share the link to ensure that I'm to be found here. So this is the first free webinar out of three. So here's, yes, it's found here. Yes. So I hope you can find me if you have been waiting for this. Yes, I can see somebody is finding me at least. So we are in a very special time. And I would like to open the energy here together with you. So as a modern shaman of the new era, whenever I share something, the words is only a part of it. And if you want to participate through the energy as well, you just allow it by using your intention. If you are agreeing with your intention to participate with the energy, it will open as well. And the energy will support you into this access that is available for everybody and have especially opened in these last days. Since the shift in December 2012, the mutual field of consciousness of Earth people have matured. And this maturity open to an availability for higher dimensions to each and every one of us through our participation when we are using our consciousness consciously. So a conscious consciousness creates in these days a new availability, a new access, the 7D access. And why we are using why we are calling it the wisdom within, the 7D access to your eternity, is because you are carrying a special connection with eternity through your eternal soul that is love. Your eternal soul that is love, that connects with you 4 months into the pregnancy and contributes to the development of your consciousness. So this availability have been present for Earth people since 10,000 years ago. But when it opened with the availability at first, it created a disturbance within this creature. So instead of opening to eternity, we're open to the handling of negative energy in an extreme version and creating consciousness that was degrading our reality instead of creating. So we are carrying the degrading consciousness, and the degrading consciousness creates a reality that is non-conscious. And this non-consciousness has been developed for 10,000 years. This was shown easily with the beings, the ones that takes care of the soul programs. So only a short while after this enhancement of the connection, 10,000 years ago, it showed itself that it was a bad idea. But due to a lot of cosmic legislations, it took 6,000 years before it succeeded in closing these enhancements down. And then for 4,000 years, we have been working on creating a reopening of this connection in an enhanced, healthy version, creating a non-disturbed version of conscious consciousness. This is what's opening in these days, and the availability comes through zeroing in on consciousness, the consciousness, the non-disturbed consciousness that opens with intention to find the new version, the new possibility. Allow the energy to open here. And I work as a seer, as a channel, as an energy investigator, and I actually have created a small program. I'm not sure that we will go through this one by one because it's channeled. So I'm actually not exactly knowing what I'm going to talk about. This is a presentation of me. I'm 52, going to be 53 one of these days. I'm an energy and consciousness worker, work as a channel clairvoyant voyager. I work full-time since 2013, with teaching, traveling sessions, inner search, and investigations. I'm an author in Danish so far. And before this, I worked at the university with biomolecular science, civil engineering with environmental microbiology, and chemistry, and as a project leader and a specialist within engineering. Yeah, so that's me. But working as a channel, it means that I was called upon to open these webinars to share, and then to allow it to open as it wants to. And just prepared this new era. It's related to 10,000 years ago. A plan was disrupted. The plan was to support mankind to open consciousness through the soul connection. It showed that the people of this earth have a special ability to be completely unreliable, and this held a special potential. The energy opens here to support us to reach the 7D access to eternity, and we also call it the 7 to 13D opening or gate. So the disrupting system is created by this. This is our driving forces related to us being men and women, creating offsprings with long-term need for caretaking. We have a passive and aggressive driving forces related to be in civilization, created with hierarchies. And we have also driving forces related to a consciousness being able to create high complicated descriptions as well as low simplifications of the same truth, the same descriptions. And instead of being a strong, forceful consciousness, we created a self-degrading consciousness that creates multi-dimensional duality, and with a consistency through every layer of our consciousness, with instincts just as strong represented in higher parts as in lower parts of our consciousness, and carries extreme contradictions within itself. That's us. But it's also showed that this power system carries possibilities. It's unbreakable, to be free, to be unlimited, to be self-constructive, healthily, interconnected, collective, as well as unique. So very special abilities. The mechanisms. I'm not sure I will go so much into this in this webinar, but just show the model shortly. We have a survival system that ignites within our consciousness with a fear and reward system, interactive chain reactions, and we have a storage system related to the DNA memory field. I will come back to this in the next webinar. And go on to this, that our DNA memory field is actually through science. You can see here that in Nature in 2013, Callaway and company found out that mouse pups and even the offsprings can inherit a fearful association of a certain smell with pain, even if they have not experienced the pain themselves and without the need for genetic mutations. And some studies have hinted that environmental factors can influence biology more rapidly through epigenetic modifications, which alter the expressions of genes, but not the actual nucleotide sequences. So how this is expressed, this is how our consciousness is contributed by our heritage. This is not something new, and it's talked about much more than what is shown here. What is special about it being shown here is that it's create a connection to science, a strong connection to science. When I investigate this now, beforehand, when I was working at the university, I was using molecular methods, but now I'm using visions, you could call it clairvoyance, to investigate instead. And as I found, in heritage of a library of possibilities is carried within this memory field, as well as the soul connection that enhance and contributes to the availability to the possibilities within. And these possibilities within has been so dampened and so held down by the diffusion and odd distribution of our consciousness due to what I mentioned earlier, due to this driving forces being distributed too much throughout our system. Yeah. We have access to the DNA memory field and the wisdom within through reflections, through coupling, and through making sense. This system, this model that I will talk more about in the next webinar, we work with a positive overtake in a way we work with. Now, what I see in these visions is that when you open the field from 7D to 13D, there will be a positive overtake where this memory field and whatever it contains can contribute that to a consciousness in a way that it's functioning. So the capacity for our consciousness and the consciousness system can be supported through an energy system and through the connection with the internal soul that is love. And it's what's shown here, that when we have the true connection from 7D to 13D, this will be like the soul capacity to create driving forces that positively connects our consciousness to be able to reflect and enhance consciousness possibility throughout all of our system. And this is also what's called the blueprint. So this is the energy field of consciousness. with the different dimensions and densities related to different states of consciousness. And when you are carrying 3 to 4D consciousness, you will be able to carry the energy field embodied and just in the space surrounding your body. When you are carrying 5 to 6 dimensional consciousness, you will carry the oval field. And when you are reaching the 7 to 8 dimensional consciousness, the spherical field of consciousness will open. Just short mentioning the ascension, descension. And I know the word for it is not good, but it's the best that I got. When you are going through the different dimensions, when I say you're carrying 3D dimensions, sorry, the channeling is just like this. So when you are, by instance, carrying 3-dimensional consciousness, it means that 3 of these different entrances of the consciousness will be available at the same time. So in other system, you will call this the chakras. In this system, we call it the main energy sensors, the main energy centers of the energy system. When you are 3D consciousness, it means that you can contain consciousness that is contributed by 3 of these main energy centers at the same time. The center of reaction, you can say, the center of choice, the center of relation, the center of a connection with the you and the world, the center of communication, and the center of realization, the center of connection with everything. When you are, by instance, carrying 3D consciousness, you can be connected with the reaction, the choice and the realization at the same time, but then you will not be able to communicate it or to relate to it or to reach out for it at the same time. When you are carrying 5D dimension, you have 5 of these at the same time, and then your consciousness will mature easily to reach the 7D, the connection. When we are reaching the 7-dimensional consciousness, it means that every part of these contributions that goes when you reflect into your consciousness development will be available at the same time, and then they will begin to enhance each other. So your reaction will enhance your acknowledgement, and your communication will enhance your availability to your reactions, and your choice will create substantial development and a contribution to the development of how you're connecting with yourself and everything else. So it will be a maturing system when you are connected from 7D. And how it matures is developing through the descension. So from 8th dimension, you will see that the acknowledgement, the knowingness opens with the contribution of all of these different consciousness energy main centers, and it will enhance all of them at the same time. The next level you will open to be able to communicate this with this enhancement, and the communication will enhance the availability of the knowingness at the same time, and together it will enhance the development of all of these layers and the connection with these and the balances. So with all of these levels, you will have these enhancements and these developments that opens with everything contributing at the same time. Until now, Earth people in this Earth have had the availability to go to the 10th dimension. The 11th, the 12th, and the 13th have been shut off, and it have been actually shut off as this enhancement that opened 10,000 years ago was shut down 4,000 years ago to ensure that our negative usage of this capacity that opened was closed down. What opens just in these days is the 7D axis in the mutual field of consciousness that opens to the new era, the new era possibility. Just see if I have any more to say about this. No. So the same goes for the global field, and we'll talk about that in the next webinar. But I'll just close this down. So just as an entrance to talk a little bit about what I've seen in my investigations through the visions. So in 2012, in the shift in December, we opened to 5D consciousness availability in the mutual field of consciousness. And the opening is related to a lot of different things, a lot of different special things related to soul purpose and maturity and cosmic availability, a lot of different things that I love to talk about, but it's not for today. The opening we will talk about today is related to the maturity of our consciousness related to the usage of technology. The usage of technology was the reason for the opening of the new era field of consciousness. The new era field of consciousness is a mutual field created by the usage of the technology. It's non-related to anything that we are already carrying in our heritage, in our DNA memory field. The reason to this is that all the inheritance carried in our DNA memory field is related to the karmic burden of Earth people. The karmic burden of Earth people carries negativity and needs to be carried within the memory and through the ignition of trauma reactions. The new era field of consciousness created through the usage of technology is so new and has developed so fast that it had created a new kind of mutual field of consciousness that is carried by the development and carried by positive vibrations. And you could say, how can that be? Because technology isn't positive, isn't it? Is it? And there's so much negativity carried throughout the technology. But this is like a technicality related to our the way negative and positive energy works. So negative consciousness, to be able to develop a mutual field that continues to stay and contribute, needs to be carried continuously by humans. And it's carried in the lineage and is known to be carried as traumas in regions around the world related to, for instance, war. And the creation of mutual fields, that's not related to, that's not just something that's acknowledged in science, but in people who works like this, it's well known that the mutual fields is created when our consciousness is related. So the strong relation in our consciousness to be carried through the negative driving forces has created the negative carried mutual energy fields. And they carry it through the heritage. It's a long-term carriage of the consciousness. It's embedded in our society. It's embedded in the unspoken ways and the spoken ways that we're carrying as civilizations. So it's constant, fed by nearly everybody through a subconsciousness or even through a consciousness when we are contributed negatively in any way. What is special is that negative energy actually by itself does not contain the capacity to carry itself. So negative energy cannot create a mutual field by itself and cannot at all be sustained without it being constantly fed by somebody who's creating the negative energy. That's us. But the positive energy created in a mutual field can contain itself and will stay with itself even when somebody is not accessing it or feeding it. So this is a special technicality that has ensured that the mutual field, that's something completely new that's created through the usage of technology, stays the part of the energy that's related to the positive usage, the positive creation through the technology, that stays within the mutual field, and whatever is negative release itself because it's not constantly fed. And the reason why it's not constantly fed is because when you use your technology, you use it and then you are putting it away, and then you're not connected with it. You connect with it and then you're not connecting with it. This relationship with the technology where you are releasing it when you're not using it, that's the reason why the mutual field of consciousness for the new era created by the usage of technology is only carrying the positive energy. And that has been foreseen, and it's used to contribute to the support for our rising into being the new era version of a civilization. And the opening has been prepared for thousands of years, but it was a really special day. It's a really special day today, the 12th of December, 2024. And 2 days ago, the mutual field of consciousness opened into 7D availability. It matured to 7D for 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, it was prepared, this opening that goes for these days. But somehow it was disturbed. Actually, what I've shown was that it was foreseen that the light workers for Earth people will be the first ones to join a mutual field of consciousness where you will say, everybody is rightful. But we didn't reach that capacity, so the light workers stayed in we are right and you are wrong. And then it didn't open. So 2 years have passed and now it is opening. They found new ways. So the 7D maturity in the mutual field of consciousness, or the newer field of consciousness created by the usage of technology, opened 2 days ago. And yesterday it opens in the mutual field of consciousness because more than half of Earth people now reflects and connects to 7D. And now it will work until the 21st of December this year. And at that day, it will peak the availability, the capacity for this special opening for every one of us. And then for the next 3 years, we will have like a circuit where it will be enhanced by the choices of each and every one of us. And the goal is a mutual field of a mutual people of Earth, containing each and every one their own truth, being connected in a contributing consciousness that creates a reality where everybody can be. And if this opens, technology from all over the universe will be channeled into our availability to support us into sustainability for our species and our reality. The reason why we are only supportive if we're reaching this tipping point is to ensure that we will not be enhanced negatively for our own sake and for everybody else. So it's kind of a security. It's not a choice that we will make, like we are going to vote about it. It's not something that we are thinking about and then we're choosing it. This is something that is shown in our system. It's shown in our energy system. It's shown by itself. So you can't do anything wrong about it. You can't do anything especially right about it. You can support it by being aware, by being awake. And awake here is to see if anybody is showing itself to provide you to go to be more mild, more positive, more knowing. And you can say, how can that contribute to anything shifting if I'm not doing anything? In these days, it's about availability. It's about being awake. It's about access what you know. So your knowingness and how it opens and how it shows, to give it your attention, to give it your support by allowing your consciousness to be conscious. That's the best support you can give. And then in the months to come, if we are able to reach the 7 to 13D by the opening in the mutual field of Earth people, then each and every one of us will begin to have good ideas about what to do with it. And it will be available for us. It will be something that we will never dream of, but it will suddenly happen. It will seem like nearly being by itself, but it's just us who is suddenly functioning the way that we are created to be, instead of the malfunctioning that have been here for 10,000 years. So by this availability of our own capacity, our wisdom within, we will begin to grow a new society or a new civilization, a new earth. And everything is prepared. Our systems, our technology is created in a way that just really small shifts, small changes will also change the usage of the technology, the availability of the technology. So everything is prepared, and we are watching and waiting to see how strong it will be. The wave is here and the shift will be, that's for sure. But how strong it will be, how many people that will be affecting it in this short while, and how strongly it will open for the next month and few years to come, will determine if we will be the one who will experience this shift, and will determine if the shifts will be so strong so it will create a civilization that will enforce all other civilizations in the universe as well. But until now, we are at the tipping age, and for you to be aware and be conscious, that's the best you can do. The energy that supports us here is to reach into this availability of the 7 to 13T consciousness. And if you want to go into the journey with me with this, I open the field here with the access that I have been given to support the shift. And just as one of the caretakers and one of the supporters for the mutual field of the new era, I'm carrying this gate. You access by choosing it. Say yes, thank you. I would like to try out the support. I would like to meet the support to see what it brings me. Sense a shift in your body. Your emotional state. And the state of your energy at the same time. And then you allow it to support you. And every kind of support that goes within the new era field of consciousness is a contribution. It supports your consciousness to find itself in this version that's already available, but sometimes difficult to reach and to find. Because our consciousness is so intertwined within itself and with so much else. The next step that's a bit difficult is to allow yourself to be followed. Not followed, but to be positioned. Allow yourself to be positioned. Like if somebody is supporting you to find your way, providing your hand, leading the way, and you're following that lead. Allow it to release the old ways. Allow yourself to be followed. To some it's easy, but to some it's really difficult. When you open for this gate, this maturing capacity for your consciousness, the space that opens this contribution to be available to this, you need to be able to carry a curious consciousness that says, I know something, but it's less. I really would like to know some more. I know I'm not nearly knowing half of this. maybe only a percentage or less. I would like to know more. To be available for this support that's here right now. That's the way to go. It's difficult. Our consciousness instantly would like to sort things out, name it, place it, position it by itself. To allow yourself to not know, to be curious. With a prepared field, available consciousness for new to come. Then you are opening a part of your consciousness that has become numb. To open the accessibility through a sensibility. And a lot of people that I work with says, please, I would really not like to enhance my sensitivity, not sensibility. We like that a lot. Sensitivity, sorry for my language skills. So enhancement by the sensitivity opens the availability, and then sensibility comes. The sensibility shows you that this part that was numb now is developing, and it's receiving the consciousness, the information that's needed that your system haven't reached yet. And immediately when you're reaching it, it reaches you, then you will sense yourself being sensible in a new way. The sensitivity enhancement is a positive enhancement for sensibility that shows you and signaling within your body and within your bodily experience what's important to you. And to follow these senses will make sense when you're following it by being on an adventure. So to following it, especially in these days, whatever comes by, and to allow it to show you that something new makes sense. And you use your sensitivity to find these ways that will show you the new knowingness that's here. Please provide me with any sharings or questions if you have some. You could put them in the comments, both if you're here live, or if you are joining in via the replay version. Then I'll come back and either write you the answers to the questions as good as I can, channel answers, and if there's much to it, I will make a new live session to answer the questions. Sorry for the pronunciation. There's a lot of access, there's a lot of possibilities that makes meaning in our everyday reality. I've seen so much change within, especially this shift towards a sense of security, a sense of being me, like an enhancement of my best version in the strongest way I've ever tried before, from these more than 10 years investigations of possibilities of working with the conscious consciousness and the direct access to the new era field of consciousness, and the contributions from the eternal soul that is love, the eternity, and the hidden wisdom within. And when I see throughout the visions how it possibly could support our reality, our world, in the years we are in right now, my hope and my calling is fueled as well. Seeing these possibilities and the preparation and everything that's here already, that if we choose it with our free will to be the creator of a reality, a world that is sustainable, then it will be changed within my lifetime, in this life. And when I see the suffering for all of us, and I see what this shift can bring us as a release to the suffering, and how fast it can be, how fast the change can be, it fuels my hope and my openness with my capacities to support the shift with all that can be. And hope as a fuel, if it's balanced, this one of the strongest fuels we can have as a human being to walk earth life in a way that gives us more than we can comprehend, more than we can understand. The blessings of being in this life, the availability to live our life even when it's difficult, to experience love, purpose, and meaning in the physical reality. It's actually available not to everybody, but to most. So when we fuel our hope, the hope can fuel our life when it's balanced, when it's a proper hope. A proper hope is related to a reality. We have different realities. And my hope, contained by these visions of the mutual field and a mutual society, as a prophecy that's opening in these years, it's fueling my reality every day. I ensure it's properly, in a way that's proper, in a way where I'm not changing my ways. I'm not changing my everyday, because I've seen this until I see it reach reality. So proper hope ensures that my choices is created on reality. And then I'm fueling my energy by the hope that I can imagine could happen. What we can imagine could happen is different to each and every one of us. And the functionality of our consciousness, when it's open from 7 to 13D, our imagination and the balanced reality will begin to merge. To many people mean that the proper hope and ignition of meaning and the path, the calling that makes sense in what's available to us will ignite. But let's see about it. Yeah. I think that was what we had for today. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed this access that I provide for you. You can reach it by yourself by being quiet long enough, because it's really accessible now. So we're providing is just a small enhancement to what's already available. Yeah. So everything and anything else. In the higher versions of reality, the enhancement that opens right now is the connection to direct availability to the cosmic archives. We have been closed down since 4,000 years, and the closing has kept us in a low circuits of consciousness development. We have gained a potential that's unreleased, and it's carried in the wisdom within. This potential is released in these years as well, as our connection shifts from this, you could say, level down connection to the direct connection with the cosmic archives again. Everybody will participate in this reconnecting. Everybody is joining in. The differences will be how we will use it. So we will use this wisdom within to create a reality for everyone in peace, love, and harmony. You will be so enhanced, and the wisdom will open in such a strong version. If you will use the connection to enhance yourself and create and conquer the world, create a world that's for the few, that's for some, then your capacity from your consciousness will not be enhanced at all. You will stay in the version that's present now. So there will be an enhancement of the consciousness that seeks the purpose of everyone at the same time. The consciousness that's here to create a mutual reality where we are supporting each other to a sustainable life with nature and with all that is, using technology that can be in a circuit with the natural environment with no problems at all, as an enhancement for nature. The part of our reality, the part of our people that will go with this purpose will be enhanced by the cosmic fields, by the cosmic libraries, the wisdom within. So if we are receiving this access and we will take it in, we will see it in our reality within a few years. So that's one of the things that's fueling my hope. Yes. If you are an energy worker, to be sure that when you shift between different kind of energy work and being at work and not at work, it's important to open and close the doors. If we are not available in this specific way, then we can be connected with the energy in a way that supports us badly. So to ensure that you have the best support, open and closing the gates, both when you work and when you're off, is important. And if you don't believe me, don't, but try it and see what happens. That's my way. All these things that I have visions, I've investigated myself by trying it out and see what happens, sharing it with a lot of people, mostly in Denmark, I have to say, hundreds, thousands of people, and find a way to see how it works and if it's not working. Of course, this shift is new. It's fresh, it's in these days, but it has been prepared and parts of it has opened throughout these years, where I have been so lucky to be invited in by the field and the consciousness that works with this, to be a physical, available energy worker within the field and within the investigation of how it works and how much and when. And this will go on for some time to come. And this is me sharing it with you, and I will be here again in the next 2 free webinars. And you can find me as well in my YouTube channel. still pretty small because most of my time is used in Danish. Marianelane.com is my field, and the Voice of Consciousness is my YouTube channel. So please share this if you find it amazing or interesting or even annoying, and give me some questions or share your experience. The next webinar will be, let's see, the 19th of December, 8 p.m. Central European Time. Maybe see you there. Thank you for this wonderful evening together here.